Okay, we're back here in Marvelous Designer, and we are going to start designing our t-shirt. Now, there are two ways to actually make a t-shirt in Marvelous Designer. You can make the all-in-one pattern, which is drawing the shape of it, or you can do the two-part, even though it's technically like a three-part, which is drawing, oh, four-part really, which is drawing the front, drawing the back, drawing the right sleeve, drawing the left sleeve, and then sewing them all separately into there. The all-in-one is just pretty much front back with the sleeves combined. So I'll show you the easiest one first, and that's the all-in-one, and then I'll show you the multiple part one, and I'm gonna show you why you do stuff in multiple parts versus all in one. Sometimes one's easy, sometimes not, and it all works out for you. It gets you the same result, but there are different reasons for doing it. So let's start out with the easy one, and that's the all in one pattern. So what you want to do is select the create polygon tool, and you want to create the first dot where you want your collar to be, the how can I explain that? The deepest part of your collar. So how you want your swoop to start. So let's start it, I guess, like right here. Then we're going to create an upward angle up to your shoulder. Then we're going to drag it down the shoulder to how long you want. Well, I like to create another seam just like right there, just because. And that's the t-shirt part, shoulder. Now we're going to create how long we want our sleeve to be. So it's a t-shirt, so maybe about right here. Next dot is how wide we want the sleeve arm to be. Let me zoom in so you can see it better. I usually like to make it kind of not so tight, but kind of tight. So maybe a block and a half, like this. The next one, we go underneath our armpit. And then you drag it down to how long you want your shirt to be. Now, if you need help making straight lines, you can hold down the shift key, and that'll enable the snap, so you can drag it down and create your sharp, straight lines. Next, we're going to make another line to the middle of the avatar, the fold line. I didn't explain this in the last video, so I'm going to do it right now. There's a line that's going straight up and down your avatar like this. This is called the fold line or the center line. You want to create a lot of your patterns on this fold and center line. That way it makes it easier for you to unfold your pattern later. Although you can unfold pretty much anywhere on the grid, which is a really big grid, you want to do it at the center line. That way you know what's symmetrical or not. It makes it easier. Alright, so we're going to create this we have our dot here on the fold line or center line, whichever one you like. And we're just going to meet it right back up to our first dot. So now we have the first half of our t-shirt. Now we're going to edit this pattern by selecting our pattern edit arrow, or edit pattern arrow. That's a tongue twister for you. And we're going to right click on the center line here that we created. Now when you click there, you get the option to delete the line, unfold the line, or split it. We're going to select unfold, and that's going to give us our other half of our t-shirt. Now we're going to need to delete this dot that's right here because it's annoying. And we have the front. This creates the front of our t-shirt pattern. So we need to create the back of our t-shirt pattern. So simply right click on the pattern, press copy, and then paste. And this is the back of our t-shirt now. Now because you don't need to have a strong dip in the back of your neck, just click on this dot that we created here and then press delete. And that'll be our t-shirt pattern. So this is the all-in-one pattern. Simple, yeah? Because we just drew a picture of a t-shirt, a vector of a t-shirt. Alright, so we have our t-shirt all set up here. And you want to make sure you give them good space apart. That's good pattern making right there. So what we need to do is put this back part on the back of our avatar. So what did we do when stuff has to go in behind our avatar? That's right, we flip it. So right click on it and then select flip horizontally, and then maneuver the back pattern behind your avatar like so. And you want to line it up so that it's close to the avatar but not going through them like that, because we don't want to pull it out of them. And where the arms and stuff are there. So we're good. cool. Now we can start sewing. So grab your segment sewing button, and we're just going to start sewing our edges together. This one and underneath the armpit. Oh, don't worry if your colors aren't the same as mine. Marvelous Designer generates them randomly. So mine may be orange, yours might be blue. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just, it makes it all different colors. Now you want to make sure you don't sew the armhole together, or else your avatar won't have arms, a place for his arms to go through. So make sure you sew the tops, both tops right here. And there we go. Now once we have all our parts sewn, I want to make sure that it's not going inside the avatar. There we go. We just press play, and you see now we have a shirt. Now if you don't like the way this collar is going down on your avatar, you can just delete the middle dot for that as well, and you can use the curve and give it a curved thing like that, and then that looks a little bit better than what we had. If you feel like you made your shirt too long, you can use the edit pattern arrow again. Click on the bottom edge of the pattern, hold down shift, and make sure you get the back part as well. And you want to scoot it up just a little bit, and you can make it as short or as long as you want it to be. Now sometimes it may be, if you make it too long or like that, you may have to click on it and pull it over to the side and snap it onto your avatar. So let's go back and make it a little bit shorter, just like that. So now you have a t-shirt for your avatar. Now if you feel like this is a little too tight for my guy, I can see his credit card through that. You can also select the edges here, and then you can drag it out a little bit, and that'll loosen up the t-shirts by making them a bit loose. And you can pull them back down a bit, like so. You have your shape. I like to really fine tune the shape of it in Blender more than I do in Marvelous Designer, but really it's up to you which one you want to play with some more. I kind of think, I just see men with tight shirts on all the time, so I'm assuming that tight is the way to go. So that's the first part to make it, the all-in-one shirt. So I'm going to show you how to make the multiple pattern shirt, and I'm going to show you why we do it that way. But if you like the way this looks, we can actually save it real quick and save it as a project. And my blame cat stuff. And we're just going to save this as a quick t-shirt. And now we can create new patterns and just reload this one without losing all our data and having to start over again. So I'm going to show you the multiple pattern one. It works pretty similar to the all-in-one, but we're going to create the front, the back, and then sew on some sleeves. But hang on real quick, somebody did just IM me. I want to see what that's about, and then I'm going to come right back and finish this. So hang on 1 second. Don't you just love it when your friends teleport there and they start playing that din-din-din-din sound for you when nobody's really IMing you? Jerks. I swear that's the worst kind of griefing. Anyway, let's get back to the tutorial. What was I showing you? How to make multiple pattern t-shirts. So we're going to do pretty much the same thing. Start where we want our collar and then go down. It's really going to be messy because it's such a quick shirt. It's nothing fancy. Alright, so this is going to be the front of our shirt. I'm going to straighten this out. Get rid of that. And then we're going to do the same thing for the back. Press our sync button, flip it over. Put them back. Pretty sure you can use attachment points and stuff like that. But I don't want to. It's fun. It's more artistic, you know? It's like when those professional cameramen are jumping around on the floor, spinning and angling the camera. So when I doing that, it's just like that for me. Spinning it around and things like that. This is the equivalent of a camera guy jumping around, posing. Alright, so I'm going to press play. So we got the front of our dress. I'm going to say dress. I'm so used to making girls' clothes. So we got the front of our t-shirt. I'm going to get rid of our drooping back and our drooping neck. And we're going to get ourselves a curve here. Now we're going to make a sleeve for our shirt. And I'm just using 2 rectangles. And I know there are some people who can just do it with one sleeve and sew both ends. That has always led in disaster for me, so I do not know how to do that. I'm not skilled enough for that. So I'm just going to create 2 long rectangles, which really should be a lot shorter considering it's t-shirts, right? So actually, you know what? I'm going to leave them as something long because I'm going to show you the reason why I wanted that. I know, I got to do it short, so make it shorter. Maybe a little more shorter. Put that here. Press this, copy it, and do it on the other side. Sometimes I really wish it would copy just like that. That would make things a lot easier for me. Sorry. It's a military base like a town over, so we get a lot of planes flying over. Alright, so we have our sleeves, and we're going to sew these together, tops, like this, and whoops, crooked, make it straight. Okay, and then we're just going to sew these sleeves parts to the shirt, like this. Click that. So here. So there. And here. And here. And then we press play. And so you see, really, it gives you the same result as we did with the all-in-one shirt. So it's not really that much of a difference. The reason why I like to do multiple patterns like this is because I want to edit the sleeves. So let's say you get an order. Now I actually did receive this order once, but I just didn't feel like making it. So let's set the mood here. You're at a roleplay sim, and you get hired by a vampire who wants to have a puffy shirt. And by puffy shirt, they want the big puffy sleeves, long puffy sleeves. You would make the multiple patterns like this so you can edit the sleeves and make them puffy. Because if we were to pull, oh, don't let that scare you. It's okay. Let's stretch this out real quick. Because it's separate from the t-shirt, we can really manipulate it without having to mess up the shirt. I guess I should have showed you that with the all-in-one pattern, but we'll load it up later and show you it. So I'm going to try and make a puffy sleeve shirt for that vampire guy, just to show you what I would do in that situation. We would make the sleeves as long as the guy's arm, then we would simulate that, and we would have a long, tight sleeve. Now, what we would do is select the bottoms of the sleeve here. Whoops. Try that one more time. And you would drag it down and make bigger ones. So it makes how big you want the guy wants the puffs. So I think that's a reasonable puff sleeve. And then we would make the cuffs for it to hold it all in. So a slimmer rectangle here. You mind if I just make one puffy sleeve? I don't feel like sewing the sleeves onto both of the sides. Time, bro, time. So we just move this over here, like this, behind it, and we sew. So. I wonder, will this start a trend of puffy men sleeves? Puffy men shirts? Remind me of Seinfeld, the puffy shirt. If it does, remember that I was the one that started it. It was on me. Give me credit for that. Alright, so got the cuffs sewn on, and you're making sure that your cuffs are a lot smaller than your sleeve. And we want to put your sleeve on your wrist and not on your hands, because that'll jack stuff up. And then we press play, and you see your sleeve goes up. Now, if you want to, you can shorten the cuffs a little more. does that, and it creates that puffy like sleeve thing. Now you wouldn't be able to do that with it all in one pattern. That's why I suggest when you have to make stuff that have drastically different like sleeves or something like that, then you would probably want to make the, what do you call this, the multi-pattern t-shirt. Now I feel like this is a waste to throw it away. Alright, I'm gonna save this too. Save as a project. Multi-puff shirt. There we go. So now we can load that back in. Now, if we try to do something like that, let's open project with the quick shirt that we have here. It'd be kind of hard. So let's turn on the simulation. See, we grab the sleeves. Drag it down. You see, it's opening. This is widening the t-shirt. Well, to be honest with you, I never exactly made a puffy shirt on the all-in-one pattern, so I could just be BSing right now. So let's see. Yeah, see, it gives you this bat wing effect under here. I'm not a big fan of. The other one was kind of tighter up there, so it looked more tailored than this one. If I was in Marvelous Design, like not Marvelous Design, in Blender, I would definitely have to up that, fix it, tighten it up in there. So it's a time saver, I guess. So let's try putting the shirt back on. Then we make another quick. Alright, so alright, so we can do it, but it seems a little more like, I don't know. Like when I did the separate sleeve, the multi-pattern, it was tighter up here. This one kind of looks like a bat suit. So I don't personally like it. That's why I do the multiple ones for stuff like this. But, you know, you see the effect. It's really up to you what you want to do. Could, I guess, use the internal ones and maybe create some elastic right here. But it just seems like more work than it has to be. So that's what I would suggest for that. Now, I've spent an insane amount of time talking about t-shirts and stuff like that. Let's go open that project back up. Open. Let's talk about the hell that is pants. I hate rigging pants. But you gotta learn how to cover your butt. So let's make some pants. So grab your pattern tool, and we're going to start on the center line like always. And you're going to start up on the waist area. That's going to be our first stop. Then we're going to go down to the crotch and maybe a little bit lower, depending on how tight you want your jeans up there, your pants up there. I'm not sure how tight men make them. I know how women, but not men. So let's just assume these are like dance tights. So like right in there. And we're going to make a backwards L over to the inner thigh. And then we're going to drag it down again. How long you want. This is how long you want your pants. And how tight you want them against the leg. So let's make it a little wide. Then we're going to drag it across to the other side. And then we're going to pull it up to the upper thigh. And then we're going to move it back up to the waist. And then we're going to select back to our first dot. And that's our pant leg. Now like before with the t-shirt, we're just going to get our pattern edit tool. And we're going to right click in the middle and then hit unfold. Then you're going to delete this middle dot, because if we leave it there, we're going to have to get in between here and so on this line and on this line. So to save ourselves that trouble, we're just going to delete this, and now we only have to sew one line instead of two. I like to delete this middle dot as well and make that a nice straight pattern. So once we have that done, we can click on this and go Control C, Control V, copy and paste. And then we right click and flip horizontally because we got to go behind it. Put it over the guy's butt like so. If you press play and your pants shriveled like this, don't worry. You can just right click on it and then push rearrange pattern and it'll snap right back into its pattern shape. And we are going to sew all along the line here. So let's start sewing like we did before with our shirt. Do, 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 do. And we're going to get the groin. You don't want your groin hanging out, or do you? Okay, so once we have that done, we're going to press play. And there you go. You got yourself a pair of pants. Now, one thing that we're definitely going to have to do is we're going to have to give these pants their own material. This makes it easier for separate and blender later on. So how Marvelous Designer does materials is it goes by color. So we're going to select the front pair of pants, back pair of pants, and we're going to go to the fabric tab, and we're going to select a color. By default, it's on like white. So we're going to pick, black because that's our traditional thing here at the Mighty Ginkgo. And then for the shirt, we're going to pick red. So I'm going to select this layer. Ugh, sorry, my mouse is going crazy. There we go. And we're going to select the t-shirt and we're going to make that red. This makes it easier for separating and stuff like that. Now, one more thing we have to talk about before we wrap this up, because we're about to leave now because we have to close. It's just for exporting. So let's say you have your shirt and you want to make your shirt tucked in. Like you want your shirt pants above your shirt. You can do that by putting them on different layers. Because Marvelous Designer has a built-in layering system for your clothes, so you can make layered clothes. So let's say you want the t-shirt on top of the pants, because right now the t-shirt's kind of tucked into the pants. You would select the t-shirt, both patterns, and you would scroll down in the, I think it's the fabric tab, and until you see etc. ECT and layer. Then you would switch it from 0 to 1. And you see your shirt pops out of your pants. Now, if you want the pants, you want your shirt tucked into your pants, you would make it higher than the layer you have here. So that layer, the t-shirt layer is on layer 1, so we would make the pants layer 2. And then you see the shirt gets tucked into your pants. So whatever is on the higher number gets put on first, the lower number goes under. So I'm not sure which is what, so I'm just going to push 4 and put our t-shirt on top. Okay, so now we have our garment. Everything is all sewn together and ready to go. We're going to export it. But before we do, I bet you're wondering, what about the UV map? How do I texture this later on? Well, my dear, the 2D menu that we created here, the 2D layer, is actually your UV map for your pants. So that's why I was saying make sure everything's got proper room in case you have to select it in Blender. So you don't have to unwrap this or anything. This is your texture for this clothes, this garment unwrapped already. So yay, Marvelous Designer, saving you some time. Alright. So now we're going to go to the exporting. And exporting is super simple. All you have to do is go File, Export, OBJ. Go to your project folder. Name it Outfit. Hit OK. Press the little M. And then check Unified U coordinates. Remove collapsed triangles. And check the box that says OBJ avatar shape. You only want cloth shape selected. And then you hit OK. And that's it. So now we have created a pair of pants and a t-shirt in Marvelous Designer. We're going to go over into Blender and actually rig it to the skeleton and the body, and then we texture it, and then we import it in World, and then we have fun. So let's go on to the next video, and I will see you back in Blender.